Check, check. Is it working? I hope so. Welcome, welcome. Let me see, live chat. Is there anyone out there? Let's hope so. Do that box cutter. Well, hello. Somebody showed up. There's Russ. And Tommy Holmes. Welcome, welcome. No one else is streaming, so I suppose I could. We're going to be doing a PS5 repair today, I hope. Let's hope we can get it fixed. No guarantees on it. I have not opened the box yet. I suppose I could. So I get rid of all the address stickers and stuff like that. Yep. Welcome. Oh, there's Russ. And thank you for being a member, Russ. And I'm going to return the favor to you when I catch you streaming. Good morning. I have a PS5 repair that we're going to try to do live on stream. But I want to show you, show everybody what the eBay listing I got it off of, what the listing says. Forbidden toothbrush. Yeah, yeah, I guess it was in the picture. A very useful toothbrush, or circuit board brush, more like it. All right, let me put up what we're going to be working on. It's a PS5 I bought off eBay. It is not a no power. I think it may be turning on and turning off. It has been worked on. And that's what I wanted to show you. I'll show you what the eBay listing said, and then I'll show you after I message the seller to get more information, because I like to do that. Hey, there's Andy. I waited and waited for you to start streaming, but you just didn't do it, so I kind of planned on this one came in yesterday, so I thought I would try to do a live one to see how it goes. But let me show you which one of these is which. I can turn that on and turn that on. A little delay before it renders on the screen over here. But basically, what I'm working on, it says console for parts repairs, no controller or cables included, case in good condition, as shown in photos, which doesn't tell you jack whatever, you know. So of course I messaged the seller, you know, can you give me any details? And apparently he worked on it. If you can read that description there, he basically replaced the HDMI encoder, and he thinks he didn't do a very good job of it. So yeah, I'm hoping this is simply, you know, yeah, you have to, nobody puts the details in there. They want you just to buy it blindly and hope. But yeah, you can read that when I go let my dog outside who's having a fit. One moment. Well, I guess you don't want to go outside. She just doesn't like to hear me talking at the other end of the house where she can't get to me. That's what that is. I know you're in there. I know you're in there. I hear you. Oh, people coming in finally. There's Picotronics. Hello. Should we get started? But a lot of people, I guess, latecomers will miss, this, what I put up on the screen there. That's what we're starting with. I'm guessing it's now a beep on off of some kind, or maybe it just beeps. What does he say? So apparently it was starting up. He could hear the audio, but not get a picture or something. So yeah, he just mentions trying to replace the HDMI encoder. And he doesn't think he did that right. Okay, that's what we're starting with. And I finally found my box cutter. I don't like having to use my, X-Acto knife precision blade for opening boxes. I will if I have to. This box is, well, they packed it nicely. Always appreciate that. I've had many PS5s come in just a cardboard box, the exact size of the console, zero padding, none. Absolutely no padding. This is nice. This is nicely padded. Oh, knocked over my hot air stand there. All right. Just take a quick look at the HDMI port. It's not busted. Let's just see what it does. Maybe I'll take this cover off so you can at least see the light. So it's a 1200 series. I'm going to have a discussion with my dog. All right, I'm going to give it some AC. Well, as soon as I find the end of my cord. Let me see. Yeah, power supply started up just fine. Give it a second to initialize, if it does. Let's see what it does. Beep, blue light, fan spin. She's trying to start up. Oh, and then after a few seconds, it goes off. Okay, that's what we're starting with. Not an instant beep on off, but after a delay. So we're going to get this board out and take a good look at the area that we know it's been worked in around that HDMI encoder. What are we saying? Now, he was nicely packed. Hello, sloth. No, what are you trying to cry? I don't have any of those nice, fancy animations. Not yet, anyway. I'm not that fancy. I just fix stuff, okay? Where's my... I'm not that fancy because I'm not really a content provider. I'm more of a technician who streams his repairs, so the content is the secondary thing for me. Is the mic okay? I restarted this computer before I started streaming just to make sure we didn't have this awful pop, 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 pop sounds that we've had before. No free SSD? No, but I have found 3. To this date, I found 3 SSDs. I still got 2 of them on the shelf over there. I'm selling one of the consoles right now with an SSD in it. But I have found 3 so far, so that's probably better than average. All 3 were 1 terabytes, but I've got a Western Digital black drive over there and some other brand. I think they're all 1 terabytes, no 2 terabytes. We're not that lucky. And I had the intention of putting one of them in my own PS5. Not that I ever play it. I really should. I was playing some Diablo, is it Diablo 4? Yeah. I need to get back to it. One of the consoles I bought and took in had a disc in it. So a free game. She looked pretty clean in here. Pretty clean. I wonder if the heatsink is broken on this thing. I wonder, maybe somewhat common on these 1200s, I don't know, but I've seen at least one that, you know, how the heatsink separates from the mounting plate back there, and I think other people have had that issue. I've only seen it once. I couldn't figure out why that thing kept overheating on me. What is that? Solder? I still have that broken heatsink around here. Thought I might rebond it to it with some JB Weld or something, but at the time I just swapped it out with the donor one. I need to figure out a way of getting me a monitor right here. I don't have a lot of room right there though, so I can read chat. As it is, I have to slide over off to the side, to my right side, and look at the chat window. Looks like they put all the screws back in it. They didn't cheat me out of any of those, although I have plenty of these. I'm not sure if I've seen that exact symptom before. Maybe I have, where it turns off after several seconds. So I don't know if this is going to be fixable or not. I hope so. I'm hoping it's just that poorly installed encoder, maybe a component knocked off in that area, or knocked off on some other part of the board, which could take quite a while to find. So that's the only area of the board, that's the only area that he mentioned working on. It's around that HDMI encoder. And everyone on eBay is so honest. Painfully honest. Alrighty, just a few more to go. We'll get this board out. Are you missing some screws? Yeah, there should have been one here under the cover and one here. So those 2 are missing. So I was cheated out of some screws. Just looking to see if any little caps knocked off right here by the APU. I think I see them though. UART wires have not been connected. There's no solder on those, no fresh solder on those pads. So we may end up doing that. But first and foremost, I always like to hang on this post back here on this model. This plastic post back here. It's a really tight fit. There we go. Has to come straight up. All right, we got liquid metal in the places it should be. What are we talking about over here? Oh yeah, talk about eBay. Welcome one and all if I missed you as you came in. All right. Yeah, I do see signs of work around that encoder. Let's go to the microscope, shall we? Where is my microscope? Okay. What do we have around here? Let me move the board a little bit. Oh, wow. Got a lot of flux. Okay. Yeah, we've definitely had some work in that area. At least it is oriented the right way. Let's get in close. Haven't seen any shorted pins yet. That one doesn't look like it's soldered too well on the corner right there. Not sure how well that's showing up. What about this top row here? That looks like a short in the middle, but I'm not sure if that's just flux being shiny. No, that's solder. That's a solder bridge right there. And that could be about all our problems. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it in focus for you and me at the same time, which is not always easy. Look, can you see right in there? So yeah, I think I'm going to take this off though, just kind of clean up the pads. I guess we'll try the same chip. It may be bad, but it's probably good. Let's see, are we missing any resistors? Maybe missing a capacitor there. It won't really matter though. I'd have to get another, this is an EDM033. I'd have to look at another one to see. They're not always all populated around here. Looks like an original port. Let me look on the back side of the board where the encoder is, just in case he was heating and knocked something off. I don't really see anything. You can see where the flux comes through those ground vias there. That's normal. So no, nothing knocked off over here. So this may be an easy pizza. Although some of you, if those of you out there who have done this, know that these chips are not easy. These type of QFNs are not fun. They're not what you would want to start out with. If you had a choice of what you want to start out, soldering, this is not it. This is not what you want to start with. It may be a little crooked, I'm not sure. The alignment doesn't look too bad. Of course, there's so much flux on this right side, I can't tell. So, let's just take it off. Guess I should turn on my soldering irons and stuff. I have not done that. Get my screwdriver out of the way. Get my favorite pair of tweezers. Start your morning off right with your favorite pair of tweezers. Probably gonna need about, I don't know, 420, 430 to get this thing off and on. Let's just say 430. It may need some more flux, although it has a good bit. I should have cleaned my tweezers. Not sure how they get so dirty. They get dirty from scraping things with it, probably. Oops. Slipped right out of my tweezers. Okay, set that to the side. All right. So got a lot of solder in the middle there, don't we? But at least it's not. A lot of times I'll see these and there's scraping all along the sides. I guess from trying to drag a soldering iron, I don't know. But they end up taking off the solder mask. Now, can I clean this up a little? I don't know. I just want to kind of pre-tin these pads. Just smooth that out some. They've got a good bit of solder on them. They do indeed. I'm going to give them a little bit more. And that one doesn't want to take solder. There, then it did. Try not to knock off half these capacitors over here. Well, they could use a little straightening. I try to add solder to these to try to get a pretty good joint when you first put the chip down, because going back and adding solder is a pain on some of these once the board is cooled off. Now, if you do it right after you put the chip on and it's still nice and hot, you know, good deal, you can do it. But as that board starts cooling, for me anyway, it gets to be a fight. It doesn't want to take the solder. There's a solder ball stuck there. See, am I staying in frame? Trying to make sure that what's going out. What is that stuck to my? Let me clean this tip a little. I'm trying to get a decent amount of solder on these pads. And I'll do the same thing with the chip, and we'll put it back down. And I could use a smaller iron on some of these pads, but when you hit these ground ones, you still need a pretty good size iron. So I'm just using the corner of this big one. I never seem to change this tip. I've got other tips for it, but I have a smaller, you know, USB-C powered iron that I'll just grab for some things. It's kind of dirty. So, because I'm too lazy to change the tip out. So the big one stays on there. And that ground one, that's a ground in the corner. Definitely want some solder on that one, because it'll be a pain to add it later. And I took off the solder off of it. Good job. I managed to remove every bit of solder it ever had. exact opposite of what I was trying to do. There we go. Let's see. All right, let's clean it really well now. Well, let me give it some heat. I do have some of Black Horse solder coming. I mean, flux coming. Thought I'd give that a try. It's not here yet, though. This is just cheap King Bow, which always works for me, but I thought I'd just try something else and support, you know, another YouTube technician in a similar line of work. Okay, this is looking pretty good, except for that one right there. Needs some help. It's kind of dry. What are we talking about over here? Hello, Red Sun Mountain, or MTM. I can't know it. Hello. Capacitors around the encoder. I think those are all like 0.1s. We can look at the schematics for the, you know, it's the same as a PS5 FAT. An original PS5 FAT. It's the same as, they're all like 0.1s. I imagine I've got some fibers on this thing. I also want to straighten out those capacitors, but I don't know if I should do that now or later. Let me add a little more solder to that one that's lacking over here on the left side. Which one is it? It's a ground. There we go. Okay, I think I'll leave that alone. Let's take a look at the chip now. We know it has solder on it, but I'd like to try to give it like a, you know, some even amounts. What's that? And I will use this other little USB Mega Idea, whatever, cheap. It's a very cheap USB-C powered iron, but I use it a lot though. I actually manufactured a little stand for it here off to the side. You can't really see it, but I had to have something because I kept laying it on the bench and knocking it off, or accidentally triggering it to come on. It's one of these little push button there. I mean, you just touch it, a little touch sensitive, and it warms up. It's running about 413. And I'm going to put a little solder on here. Let me get that better in the frame, I guess. Let's see if we can clean these. Get some nice even solder on these. A couple of these don't want to take solder. We'll have to do something about that. Let me get a little more on the tip here. Let me clean it. And I use this knife blade here, knife edge tip on this thing exclusively. I never take it off. Now these in the corner, there we go. They didn't want to cooperate, but they did. Maybe that one. About the pad in the middle. Okay. I'm still looking at those in the corner. Let me heat this up a little. I'll clean it up a little, get some nice fresh clean flux on there. Alright. Do we have enough solder on those pins, on those pads? Maybe. They're definitely not all the same. Now these look like these do not like, they don't look like what I would like for them to look like. That's just me. This is my little Pico pencil. Comes in handy for adding just the right amount of solder to each little pad like that. Now that looks like nice and rounded. Yep, I've got it swimming in flux. That's all right. Flux is cheap. I guess I've done 3 sides. I might as well do the last one too. And there's solder on there. I just like to see it a little bit more. More of the puffy pillow shape, you know. Okay. So a lot of puffy pillows there. Oh. There's some Andy guy in the chat. Let's get this thing turned the right way. Now I know it has flux all over the bottom of it, but it's not burnt, so I'm not going to replace it. There's flux everywhere. Flux is your friend. See if I can line this up. This is the hard part. Can we get it to not go flying everywhere? Okay. I think I'm a little bit high. Oops. Yeah, it's close. We're close. And I'm going to press down on it. I'll just turn my tweezers the other way because I hate making a hole in the top of the chip when you push down. Definitely going to have to slide off to the left a little bit more. All right, now work with me here. Work with me. How can I need to tap it to the left a little, I believe. Or, well, maybe not. Make sure I've got it down all the way. I still didn't straighten out those capacitors. I guess I'll have to do that. After the fact. Okay. How is our alignment? Yeah, so we need some solder on some of these joints. We always do. But while the board is nice and hot right now, that's not a problem. You can add solder all day. But once it starts cooling, ready to go, ready to go. I just wanted to clean up some of these, even them up a little. I'm sticking my hand on top of the processor. Try not to get liquid metal all over me though. Okay. Let's clean this up and see what we have. I was zoomed in a good bit there trying to see. I'm going to hit it just a little bit of heat just to loosen up this flux. Still need to fix some of those capacitors over there. Set them down. Let me get something to pick up this flux. All right, how are we looking now? As long as I didn't put it on upside down. That's always a bad feeling. But nope, I see the dot there. All right, so we do need to straighten up some of these caps. But I would like to just do a diode check on this port. Because what I'm doing, I'm checking, connections all the way into the chip. I just want to see if all those line up, If the diode readings look right, make sure none of these little, ferrite pieces here are open, the little filters. Common mode chokes are what they are. All right. Let's go back. Where's my breakout board? Let me get rid of this flux left on my pad there. All right. We still got flux around there. Oh well. I'm gonna be putting flux back to tap those capacitors back into place, but I'm kind of curious about the diode readings. Maybe some resistance readings around the supply lines for this chip. Trying to make sure it's not shorted. All right. What? Pin 1 is open. Okay. That's not a good start. I think we just got a connection problem. Let me clean this port really well with some alcohol. We may be replacing a port. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. We'll get up in there and just a little cotton pellet with some alcohol on it. All right, now does pin 1 have a diode reading? Does pin 1 have a diode reading? Yes, it does. 2 is ground. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is ground. 18, 19. That all looks good. I guess I should straighten up these caps. Maybe I should look at another EDM 30 series board. Although I'm not that concerned about them. If I'm missing one in the middle, it's not going to make a difference. Let's see if we can clean these up a little. Yep. Microscope. Well, I'll just add it here. How about that? You can see what I'm doing there. Just going to touch up these capacitors a little. May have to clean up the end cap of that one. It's got a little too much solder on it. I have to push it down to make it sit. Okay, that one turned. So really it's just that one that needs to kind of sit down. Let's get some more flux on there. Ooh, that's still molten. All right, are you going to sit down? If I push you down, you will. I let off the pressure. Keep burning my finger trying to do this. This poor capacitor. My goodness, sit down. No! I mean, I'll let off of it. Look, I'm holding it down for several seconds. All right, it didn't do it that time. I'll clean up the end caps. Oh, hard to believe this board is still that hot. But it is. All right, stay down there. Yeah, there's a good bit of flux everywhere. All right, what do we think? Do we think it's going to turn on now? Was that the only issue? Looks good. Yeah, that one capacitor's still a bit crooked. Maybe I'll still be able to sleep at night. Okay. What do we think? Is it going to work? What are we talking about here? Oh, hey, Dave. Ruggers, hello. Let's see. Let's switch. We don't need that. Let's put the board back in the chassis. Like so. Come on. Let me straighten this liquid metal back up a little, get it back on top. I mean, it's spread around pretty darn evenly, though. Oh well, I guess I need to, let me clean it. There's always some oxidation under there. It was spread pretty well, though. I probably should have left it alone, but I didn't, so. Okay. Let that alcohol dry a little. This is looking pretty good on this APU. It's pretty well evenly spread out there. It's just kind of pushed off a little. I like to put it back on the top of that die. Oh, and now once you move it, although I don't see a lot of, I don't see oxidation under there. Shove that back on there. I'll get one of these one of these that they ship with the liquid metal, these dark swabs. At least they don't lose fibers, strands of cotton, like the regular ones do. But sometimes I just use the regular ones. All right, now this should be all nice and dry and ready to. Come on, you have one job. All right. Try to make sure I get it in these corners. Come on. How's this ribbon cable look? It looks fine. A lot of times that ribbon cable just gets, the contacts get folded over on it if someone's not very careful plugging it back in. Okay, how about some clamp? So before, what we had was it would turn on, you get a flashing blue light for, I don't know, 3 seconds, and then it shut off. Those of you who missed the initial test of it, it wasn't an immediate shut off. It took several seconds. And actually the fan would spin. Speaking of fan, oh, come on, just sit there and look pretty. Okay, I did not hook it to the power supply to see what kind of current draw it was. We're going to go straight for the test. All right, are we ready? Is it going to work? Can you see the lights? AC power is on. Power supply started. Give it a second or two here to initialize. What's she going to do? Or should I do a poll? I haven't done a poll in forever. How do you do a poll? Let's see. How do you do a poll? Start a poll. All right. And start poll. Garrett, it was originally beeping on and off. All I've done to it is straighten the encoder IC because I knew it had been worked on before. The listing I bought it from said that that's what they had done to it, and they kind of thought that they had not done a good job on it. It was not the cleanest. I really don't know if it's any good or not, though. It could be a bad encoder. This could have all been for nothing. We'll get to replace it again. Well, we're at 91%, 90%. Oh, we have 77. I'm not sure how long it takes everybody to vote. Or how do I end this poll? I guess I click up here on it. Yeah, we're running in the high 80s, 90%. Oh, now it's dropping. It's dropping. The longer it goes, the more it drops. Confidence is high. It's not perfect. You think I cooked the IC? CT dubbing? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I never have cooked one. Doesn't mean I can't, but I have never done that. Yeah, the diode test was good, which checks really all the pins. Yeah, I don't know what the last guy did, though. Yeah, it's true. I don't know what he did. Yeah, I really don't. Those chips are pretty tough, except for lightning. They don't like lightning. Okay, can we end the poll? So I ended it, and we're at 84%. That's not bad. Oh, 32 votes. All right, let's find out. Blue light, fan spinning. Come on. White light. We have a white light. I will hook it up and we'll see if we're getting video out of it. But that's encouraging, right? That's encouraging. Yeah, we're doing a storage check. Yeah, those QFNs are kind of fun. I used to dread them a lot. Not so much anymore. Are we going to beep 3 times? I guess it's actually doing the check now. Anyway, come on, beep 3 times for me. That will reassure me before I power you off. Then we'll move it over to the test and burn-in bench. No beeps? Okay. Maybe there's an error message on the screen right now that I can't see. Let's see if it'll shut off properly, though. I've given it plenty of time. Is the beeper turned off? No, it beeped when I pressed the power button, didn't it? Yeah, the little buzzer is working. Let's see if she'll shut off. Second beep. There we go. Do a nice clean shutdown. We don't want to corrupt anything. I don't know how many of you saw the video I posted yesterday of that console I was working on. That was firmware 7.2. So yeah, it's already sold. 7.20. This being a 1200 series is probably later. All right, we're going to have to, I got to get this other camera spun around. So we can go over to the test area, and we have to, let me see, where is that one? I'm looking for a certain scene. Is it that one? Yeah, we gotta get Miss Hazel out of the way. This is Hazel, affectionately known as Drama Llama. Quite dramatic. Miss Hazel, can you get up? I need to get right where you're standing, or you're laying. No? Okay. I need to point this over here. And we'll just have to deal with Miss Hazel, I guess. until I step on her. Okay, Miss Hazel, I'm coming over that way. Yeah, can you go that way? Thank you. Yeah, this is the remote for this new TV I bought. It will adjust the settings inadvertently on my microscope camera. I'll get through adjusting volume or something, and next thing I know, the exposure is cranked up on my microscope camera. It's a very strange event. Hope this port is clean enough. Oh, that port is loose. I may have to replace it, or sometimes I just bend the prongs and they're out to tighten it up, depending upon how I'm feeling. But that port is loose. It will just come right out of there. All right, can we see the monitor and everything? Let me pan up a little bit here. Tilt. All right. We have a picture. We have picture. So, 83% of you were right. Well, the camera mounted on my microscope on the trinocular port has a remote with it. I don't know what you mean. You could for making adjustments, but it has buttons on it also. But what I sold that 7.2 for, I sold it for $450. That's what I've been selling them for here lately, just to get them moved out. I don't really care anything about, jailbreaking them myself. Was it easy? Is that an easy pizza, you think? Well, to be honest, that's what I was hoping for when I bought it. When I read the description, actually, it wasn't in the description. I don't know how many of you saw that. The description was that, which tells you nothing. I'm putting it back up because a lot of people weren't in here. A lot of people weren't in here when I started. But that was the description of this console, so I did message the guy, and that's when he replied with that. The console has been reset, though, hasn't it? So how did they reset it if they couldn't get it to turn on? Maybe it had a, I don't know, maybe it had an intermittent picture before and it got reset. I don't know. I don't know the full history on it. But, so that's where, a lot of you, if you missed the start, that's where this is coming from. So, it was, well, yeah. It was what I was hoping it would be. Well, you got to keep in mind, these are not customer consoles. I'm buying them to flip them. So I'm going to buy things that I think I can fix because I don't need a whole lot more donor consoles. I'm going to buy something that I think I've got a reasonable chance of fixing. Okay. I wonder what version of software this has. I knocked my Switch OLED over. What is it, Hazel? What is it? You want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right, let's go. Give me a moment. Dog stuff. Hazel likes to go in and out a lot. Go ahead. Go on. She likes to go check the perimeter of the yard. for any bandits or anything. Go ahead. Go ahead. And if it's all clear, she'll lay in the sun for a while. And then bark to come back in. And we just repeat that cycle. All right, the dog is taken care of. Oh. The language is Canada. Francais, Canada. I haven't been buying anything from Canada strictly because of the import tariffs just eat you up. From what I've read, so I haven't bought anything. I don't want to push my luck on that. Continue without disk. I just want to see what version of software this is. And I may take it back out. This is the only one I had to work on today, so I may take it back out and replace the HDMI port. Just for the heck of it. 9.4. 9.4. Which I think is still in the window of being jailbreakable. 9.4? How's this HDMI port? Well, it's not intermittent. It did cut out then. Because I'm rocking it pretty good. Maybe we'll replace the HDMI port. Yeah, I thought 9.4 I think is still considered. Let me check the Facebook group. Where is that Facebook group? Right there. Oh yeah, they're saying 10.01. .01 is what that says. Can you read it? MK Fix is starting to stream. 10.01. So yeah, this is considered hackable. So you have to have a certain game. Well, that's not my problem. Okay, well, yeah, my pets. Well, I have several cats inside. They stay inside, but Hazel likes to go in and out. And she gets what she wants. All right, let me take this. Let me shut this down. I think I'm going to replace that port. I think I will. I do have several more PS5s coming. Because of the winter storm we have come through, though, a lot of things have been delayed. I am trying to finish working on Every now and then I do controllers. I put the those TMR analog sticks on there. I've done 4 of them, but I'm missing this little trim ring right here. I actually had to steal it off this one and put it on another one that was busted and missing. So anyway, so now I'm waiting on that to come, and I can finish putting it all back together. Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll sell these PS5s as a bundle, controller, all the cables. Speaking of which, that's something I've got coming. It hasn't arrived yet. A cable tester, a USB cable tester. Because I buy from a local thrift store, like Amazon Returns, and it's just I buy a lot of USB-C cables, USB A to C's or C to C's, and some of them end up being, like charge only. So I need to kind of. I was getting this tester, so it'll show you what contacts, what wires you have. Whether it's. So you'll know whether it's a charge and data or just a charge cable. So, just a cheap tester with its own little, watch cell battery in there. And it is not here yet. Oh, come on. This board is going to be, like I said, this plastic post right here is just really, there we go. Tight fit. All right, so we're going to do an HDMI port replacement. I'm sorry, I don't usually do those on videos and stuff because to me that's just kind of boring because everybody does them. It's just a very common repair. And this was not totally failed. It's just the physical spring contacts. It doesn't like to hold the cable in there nice and tight. You like to feel a nice positive click, when you, I do. Just makes you feel a little more confident. And also it doesn't, pull out the slightest movements. That's the ideal anyway. Okay. Let me go ahead and tin this port. Got a bent pin on that one. Did I bend it? Or was it already bent from the factory? It's got a couple of bent pins. I need to get that solder off first so I can straighten it. I didn't notice that. Did I bend it? Dave Unbranded, did you sell that console that you were trying to sell on eBay? I noticed you had a bid on it. So, Not sure if the listing has ended yet. That beep on off that you had listed. And I'm going to remember to take that foam pad out from under this port, because when you start melting that, that stinks. It's a horrible smell. Just saw it went out today. Okay. Maybe the buyer will give you some feedback on whether he got it working or not. I've tried to give some, people that I bought stuff from that were legitimately, wondered what the issue was. I'll send them a link through eBay messaging, but I noticed the links aren't clickable, and it's usually like these, URLs that YouTube gives you that are not very user friendly to be typed. So I don't think anybody ever actually does it. But I send the links to them. Here's you a video of how it was fixed. But I don't really think it does any good, because nobody wants to type all that in, or they think I'm sending them a virus. So I don't know what they think. But I've done it a couple of times here recently. Never, and just didn't hear anything back, or so I don't know. I'm just cleaning off my tweezers. I've got flux all over them. Okay, that's off. Maybe that'll work. All right, come on, left side. Right side's ahead of you. There we go. I don't have enough weight on the back of the board here, or it's shifted. The board was moving on me. I usually put something back there as a counterweight. Yep, I think that'll work. Give it a good cleaning. There's my paper towel. And I need to, before I clean, let me touch up the other sides before I go through the trouble of cleaning it really well. So I'm just going to get more flux on the back of it here. I always like to make these look nice and pretty. And I hate when I get solder on the ground plane over there, so I try not to do that. Just looks nasty. All right. Now we'll give it a clean. Okay, did I get all the flux out of there? I think I did. I see a little down there at the very far right. What do we think? Will that work? I think it'll work. I do want to clean the inside of it though. Do want to clean the inside of it. Because flux always makes its way in there, seems like. And it will make it intermittent. That's what I use these little cotton pellets for, to get up in there. And then I'll follow that with a little bit of this red deoxit. Doesn't take much at all. Coat those pins. Beautiful. All right, back together. Looks like I brushed that liquid metal on the top of the APU there. At some point. All right. Let me clean this a little bit more. I'm still seeing flux residue around here. Okay, back in the chassis we go. So yeah, my only investment in this one was some time and a port. The port was optional. I mean, I reused the same encoder. Come on, get up under there. I like to make sure these cables are all exactly routed how they're supposed to be so they can't get crimped. And I was missing a couple of screws, wasn't I? It's all right, I've got those. The two that are under the shield here were missing. Those two were missing. So I'm going to be short a couple when I fully reassemble this. Awful springy. And this little short screw is missing quite often out of the corner. It's also the same one that goes in the, goes in the fan. But it seems like quite often this one gets removed and never comes back. Looks like I need to replace some of those stickers. There's only two on this one. Oops, don't do it, don't do it. One of the screws went down in here with the switch assembly. Got it. That's what I get for throwing screws on the board. I'm just going to stick a few in it here for testing. Should be good though. It worked before. Let me go ahead and replace these stickers. Oh, come on. There we go. Get that to go right in there. And the other one was right here. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to test it with the Blu-ray drive. Cable looks good. I don't see any folded over pins. All right. Fan assembly. I just want to make sure our new port is working. Turn on that TV. Oh, that new port feels nice and snug. Okay, yeah, I've got it. All right, let's see what she does. Stefan, thank you for becoming a member. Oh, I got a notification from eBay. There's another PS5 on its way. Out for delivery today. Let's see if this firmware update. Oh, my TV is updating its firmware. For a moment, like, what? I've never seen this dialogue before. What PlayStation? Oh, it's my TV. Great. Alrighty, let's get Blu-ray disc. Takes a disc, no problem. All right, we're reading the disc. Beautiful. But I need to put it all back together before I try to install it. It takes a long time to install, and I think it's going to overheat. It could overheat since the fan's not installed properly. It could overheat before, because it'll take probably, I don't know, 30 minutes to install that game. All of it. That's what I use when I'm testing. It has a demo mode that runs. It runs it pretty warm. It's fixed, yes. Yeah. When I got this TV, I had to install an app on my phone to go through the setup before I could even use the HDMI port, because it has all these built-in apps. It's a pain. But it's a beautiful TV. This is when I paid like $125 for it, brand new, at my local Sam's Club. You know, it's kind of like a Costco. $125 for a 4K with HDR. It's really good. Got really good black, really good contrast ratio to it. But for a test monitor, it's just cheap. So it's a 50-inch, I think it is. It fit right nicely in my little test setup I've got over there. I've had, okay, I see have any of them come back with an unforeseen, well, yeah, I've had some come back with crashing on Fortnite, which, I'm not sure. I think I've got one sitting on the shelf over there I need to go back and look at. But that random crashing thing is not necessarily fixable all the time. Could be RAM. RAM's a possibility. A lot of that RAM on these things just seems to be questionable. No, I don't really sell any frames or anything. I wouldn't have anything for a 1016. I think that's a European model. It'd be a 1015 here in the U.S. 1015, 1115, 1215. No, it didn't shut off. That monitor's rebooting. Or did it? No, it overheated. You're right. It's flashing. I think it overheated and shut off. I thought it was the TV rebooting. At the same time, the TV decided to reboot, and this thing overheated and shut down. I think it's what that yellow light means. It didn't like that. Can I get it to come back on? It's just going to overheat again. Oh, no, it didn't. You know what it did? It didn't overheat. The monitor shut off, and the PlayStation followed suit. It went to sleep. It's that power signaling on the HDMI signal. That's what happened. The monitor cut off, so the PlayStation says, well, I'm just going to go to sleep since you're obviously not using me because you don't have a monitor connected. That's what happened. It didn't overheat. Because I didn't hear it beep, I expected it. That's what happened, though. I've seen that before. I'd forgotten about it for a moment. Yeah, the monitor shut off, so it just kind of... Oh, you're in Norway, Mr. Lasix? Yeah, there are different versions here. I don't know why they do that. But here, the original was a 1015, then there was 1115, and then there was a 1215, and there's a 2015 for the Slim. Yep, Andy, yep. That communications channel it has, which is basically like an I2C data path out there. Oh, yeah, before I typed it out. Yeah. Yeah. I just knew it had overheated exactly as the monitor was, which is not very likely. Oh, okay. It updated the firmware in the monitor, and now it wants to update the software in the monitor. Can't you just be a monitor? So it's going to do it again. Let's see what happens when it gets to 100%, and it's probably going to reboot again, and this thing's probably going to go to sleep again. There it goes, flashing. You can't see the flashing light, but yeah, she is. It started to shut down as soon as that monitor went off. Yep, she went to sleep. But it doesn't come back on when the TV comes up, does it? Did the TV shut off? Okay, it's coming. I see the backlight on the TV, I think, so. Yeah, no signal. Okay. But I will probably not be putting it on the internet because it would want to update its software. The PlayStation, that is. And I'll probably just sell it like it is. Blue light only, then shut off. You'd have to pull the codes on it and see what it was. I've got one right here I've been working on that's a beep on off, a digital edition, and it looks to be SSD corruption. I had it working briefly, but I've reballed. Of course, I replaced the controller multiple times, and I reballed several of the SSD chips. I'm afraid there's going to be corruption on one of the ones that's not replaceable. But I do need to try to take them off and at least reball them and put them back on there. But the UART code says it's on this one that it's a communication problem between the controller and the NANDs, the storage ICs. It tells you outright that's what it is. So, I mean, it'll do that. It'll shut off if it can't talk to the RAM. I mean, if it's missing an APU rail, it'll shut off. Normally those are pretty quick shut-offs, though, if it's missing a rail. I use KiCad for making my schematics. I've used it for years, and there's a version available for Linux, which is what I'm using. Schematic editor, such as, let's see, can I add a let's see, window? There may be a newer version of this stuff now that I think about it. That's the wrong window. Well, there's like the, this is in KiCad. And most of this is just, stock symbols. Sometimes you have to make a symbol in KiCad, like these transformers and stuff. But you can take existing symbols and, adapt it to your needs. But that's what I've had to do for, like, the PFC coil up here, because I wanted to show the pin numbers and stuff like that. But this is just KiCad, which is free. And it's for Windows or for Linux. This is on Linux. That's what I'll draw it in, and then I'll just export it, print it off as a PDF file. But, and I try to keep up with, down here in the corner, the revisions. Like if I find errors, I have to go back and I'll update it, and I'll change the revision number and the date. But, yeah, I have not done any Xbox stuff. Yeah, I use Ubuntu. I don't know, I just like working in it. I've got a Windows computer off to the side here for running like PS4 retools, PS5 retools is what I use for like reading codes and stuff. But, so I have to have a Windows PC for that. So I finally, at least I do have one on this table to my side. It's behind me as I work at the workbench. But anyway, but I haven't done anything on Xbox, and I have not done any PS4 power supply schematics. Dave, help you with what? I don't know what you mean. Did I miss something? But, yeah, I enjoy doing it somewhat. It does take a long time. With White Light of Death. I do have one open. I just I haven't been very motivated to do it. I don't know. I haven't worked on many Xboxes. I don't know how expensive the supplies are. Like, I do have one here on the shelf. I opened up. I think this is one that was sent to me by somebody. No. Oh. This is a Series X supply. I have fixed one for a 1S before, a long time ago. Actually, it's the one I think I kept it. I do have an Xbox One S. I usually keep the first one of a series that I fix. I just keep it for myself. I never seem to play them, but I keep it. But yeah, there's but I have not done any reverse engineering on it. I just looked at it, kind of looked at some of the ICs on it to see if I could get any kind of information on them, which is, hard to come by sometimes. But I see the bridge rectifier up in there. I mean, they're all similar, but of course they're not identical. This little board here, I'm guessing, is where some of the regulation takes place. But, you know, how expensive are these things? Are they even worth repairing? Yeah, they are. There's a lot of glue. Oh, you're talking about his white line of death? You think they're worth repairing, Andy? I mean, maybe. You don't have it knocked off any of those tiny capacitors next to the APU, have you, Dave? That's something to check. Let me grab my board. I don't know what your board is, but those capacitors right there, right beside the APU, those are the differential data pairs going to over here to the HDMI encoder. I think that's the wrong ones. Am I following the wrong path? Doing too much at once here. Let me get my microscope locked in place. All right. Is it those or my? Nope, it's these on the back. These are differential data pairs for other things. Like if you follow them, that's going to the SSD controller. That's going to be with it. If you knock those off, you're not going to get any data from your SSD, and she's not going to boot. But on the other side opposite the APU, those capacitors like to get knocked off sometimes. And if we follow those around, should be 4 pairs right there. You know, that's the area of the HDMI encoder. That's the data for the HDMI encoder. So if you've knocked any of those off, you won't get a picture. Everything else, it'll boot and look normal, you just can't get a picture. So look for that. It's an 040 board, so it's a slim. Well, they still have those same capacitors. Are you getting 5 volts? What are your diode readings looking into the port? Do you have a breakout board to plug into that port? And basically, hello there, Cat Eye. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So you haven't lost the diode. I've had a few. Has it been lightning struck? Can you tell? Sorry, you can't see anything. Let me switch back to another view here. Is the board lightning struck, Dave? Oh, you sent me a picture? Let me check Discord. I don't even have Discord running right now. Yeah, I didn't start up. I restarted this computer before I started streaming, just trying to make sure everything was in a state that would work. Let me look at what you've sent. I see you've got 5 volts. But is it lightning damage? You don't think it's been lightning damage? Do you have a breakout board to stick in there though? So you could check, you know, diode checks. Like one of these. It's just simple. You plug it in there and you have all the contacts. It's just, anyway, I have several of these laying around that I've bought online somewhere. Do you have one like that? Cat Eye. No, I do not have any PS4. I have not made any PS4 power supply schematics. There may be some floating around. I have not made any. I thought about going back and doing some, but it's just very time consuming. If you can imagine, like all the little ceramic capacitors, I have to lift one end of every ceramic capacitor and measure each one of them, and it's just very time consuming. But no, I have not done any on the PS4, I'm sorry. I'll do some on the PS6 when it comes out. I may do this Xbox one. I just got to have time and motivation. But did you have a breakout board? Oh, you do? Okay. Well, can you take some diode checks? You should have a diode reading of some kind. You know, like even zero. Some of them are ground. You should have a diode reading of some kind on every pin. What I was saying about lightning damage is that pin 18 was 0.230. I've had some Zeners that have broken down on the back of the HDMI port. They don't short entirely, but they break down. Let's see. Yeah, so you look like you got all the capacitors. That's good. That's not going to be your problem then. Did you? We just finished working on a PS5, David. I don't have a tipping link. No, I don't. All right, hang on. You had a on pin. I'm losing track of the chat here. You gonna stream it later? Okay, that's fine. You said pin 18 was 0.230. Let me look at something. Documents. My little cheat for the PS5 port. Where'd I put that thing? I made this back before any of the schematics were released. HDMI. Where is it? HDMI. No. It's basically just a drawing of how the HDMI circuit is. And now I can't find it. Diagram power on standby. No, that's not it. I'm looking for a diagram. And I thought it was titled EDM 010 and EDM 020. And I can't find it. But anyway, it's kind of a handy thing to have. Is it in my... It's in my general documents. I'm sorry, I'm searching for something. Here we go. It's in my general documents. I don't know why. All righty. Let's see if we can share this now. Come on, work with me. Where is it? That's not the one I want. There are a lot of things open on my computer right now. That's not what I want. Desktop. For some reason, this window is not... It's not one of the options that I can throw in there. So I don't know if OBS is being stupid. I don't know. Sometimes OBS is stupid. Ah, now I found it in this one. I couldn't find it in the other one. All right. This right here kind of shows you. All right, pin 18 is the 5 volts. Oh, you're asking about the F. There are some power supplies made by Light On that I have not reverse engineered. The ones I've done are all made by Delta. Mac Makes Robots. I have all the ones. I think I have one of those. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. I've seen that may be a Light On model though. I have a feeling. I know Light On has made some, but the ones I did were all Delta. Acetone Dragon. Yeah, I have shared the schematics for these PS5 power supplies. I can put a link. I guess I can put a link in on this live stream. Give me a moment. Share. Share. Copy the link. And go here and paste. Okay, there's a link to my Google Drive that's got all the PS5 power supply schematics I've done. If that's what you're looking for. Yeah, the Light-Ons, I have not reversed any of the Light-On models. They're a lot less popular. And I'm not sure if they're actually aftermarkets or are they originals. I'm not real sure on that. But 90% of the ones I see, or 95%, are all the Delta models. That's why I did those. I did the ones I encountered the most. But Dave, if you've got 0.2 something on that 0.220, that doesn't sound right. So you might need to look at that. On 18, there's a Zener, a 5.6 volt Zener that can break down. You've got two 1.8K resistors right here. But otherwise, pin 18 is out of this voltage switch right here. It's not really a regular, it's just 5 volts in and it switches 5 volts out. Has that Zener broken down? You can remove that Zener if you think it might be bad. It does have 5 volts. That does seem strange though. Are any of your other diode readings questionable? Has the encoder been replaced? Has the encoder been replaced already? Because it could be bad. You know, even if everything seems to be right, they can be bad. But I mean, I'd start with the basics. If you have good diode readings on all of these things, of course, nothing on 14. There's actually a capacitor there, but there's nothing you'll read with a meter. Do you have 0.9 volts? Do you have the 1.8 rail? The little regulators for those are out nearby, which I would think you're going to have them because it probably wouldn't boot. Like it won't boot without this encoder on there. If you take it off, it won't boot, or if it won't talk properly. Has there been any work around the South Bridge, Dave? Because there's a 25 megahertz clock that comes from the South Bridge that comes to this chip. I show it right here at the top. There's a 33 ohm or 32 ohm, whatever it is, resistor near the South Bridge. If that gets knocked off, you got a problem. Yeah, I've seen a few of the Light-Ons. I've got a few of them around here, but they're just the Delta models far and above I see more often. Yeah, I was just showing this as an example here. I have not. I probably, if I'm going to reverse engineer it, I should probably get a working one. This one doesn't work, so it's nice to have a working one to compare to. Or if you're going to reverse engineer and you're going to take diode readings on it, you need a working one. You have this schematic on your drive? No, this one is not on there. This HDMI, I just never have. I don't know. I've shared it on a few forums. I mean, you can get this. I made this before the schematics were leaked out. I actually had a board with the South Bridge off, and I followed these connections, you know, I was curious where these enable lines were coming from, all these different signals, and I actually just with a continuity tester figured out where they came from, and made, well, I make a lot of little things like that. When I was, where's the 61GG pads. This is kind of hard to read. My color choices were, let me switch it. I'll show you. This is something else I make. Where is it? Sometimes OBS. It's weird. I have to flip between them. This is something I made. It's hard to read. The color choices were not great. The pads of a south bridge. If you needed to know, it was helpful for me because I was tracing these things back to the HDMI encoder, and I needed a quick way to know, is this J12, J7, which one is it? So anyway, I just made a little cheat sheet kind of the pads of that 61GG. But it's kind of hard to read. That's why I also made one without the background on it. That's in, yeah, like that. Can I share that one? Let me change that one. Yeah, there's one just on a black background. Because it was useful. Well, you're welcome, David. Hope people put those things to good use, those schematics. Calamo. I have not worked on a Pro yet. I have not worked on a PS5 Pro. I have not had my hands on one yet. They just don't come up for sale very often on the Evil Bay. So I have not. Sorry, I can't help. I don't know. Yeah, I've got board views on the EDM 10. I think it is. I do have that, but I didn't. Yeah, when I made some of this other stuff, that was not available. So it's just, it was me and with a continuity tester and a brass brush brushing across the pads to figure out where the continuity was and where it was going. Time consuming. But yeah, I have not really. Did you? HDMI report. I was looking at what Dave said. We may have to. Well, we can jump in Discord later on, Dave, if you want to. And we'll try to go through it. I don't have an 040 board to compare to, but they're the same as the other ones. I mean, as far as the diode readings would be the same. I may have a slim board in a case somewhere. Maybe, if I could find it. I think when the Slims first came out, I bought a, how am I doing? I bought a band one just to get the power supply out of it and study it and that kind of stuff. Just looking at this controller chip in here. Oh, that's been worked on, hasn't it? Look at that. Somebody's been working on this thing. Unless that's from the factory. This is that Series X supply I was just looking at a second there. Put that down in there. Yeah, that's swimming in flux. Somebody has changed that, whatever that thing is. These are MOSFETs at T2X. I've got those. T2T, I'm not sure about that one. Probably a MOSFET. But yeah, it just takes a while to do this stuff. So is that, oh, that's soldered in. It's not on a, you can't just unplug that, can you? It's actually, oh, it'll stand up. It's soldered on the edge. Cute little module though. Any information on this chip here, I wonder? I don't recognize that symbol. Logo on there. So this one's been worked on. Yeah, you can see that oh yeah, that resistor's burned, isn't it? Yeah, I think that resistor has been toasty. So I need to get another one that's working if I'm going to reverse engineer anything. I just didn't know if there's much demand for it, if they were worth repairing. Are they hard to come by? Because as many, you know, Series X that have dead SSDs, I would think there'd be plenty of power supplies floating around. Because once that SSD dies, you have a doorstop. You got all that putty in there. Yeah, that would be fun, but you could pick it off. Man, they love that putty, don't they? Now, is that thermal putty? Or is that just let's hide stuff? You know, is that let's conduct some heat away? Although this is plastic, it's connected to. Or is it let's hide something? Is that what that is? So that one's been worked on. I didn't realize it had been worked on. Diodes die in them? That's interesting. Let's see, I'm on Andy's Discord. Swindon Electronic Repair. I'm on Computer Booters. I'm on the Coders. I mean, not that I'm necessarily active, but I'm on there. I do lurk a lot. What's wrong with lurking? I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just lurking. Quite often, if Andy's streaming, I've got him on in the background, and I'm working on something. And I just keep my head down. I mean, I'm just watching and listening. No promotion, me please. Yeah, Andy needs more subscribers, is what he needs. He needs more viewers. He needs many more viewers, many people to join and donate money to him. But really, really watch those streams and be active in his chat. He loves that stuff. Well, let's see. I wonder if this other PS5 is out for delivery. I know it's out for delivery. I don't know if I'm actually, what time I'm going to get it. It looks like it's a UPS package. As is, PlayStation 5 Disc Edition has no power. Looks like I paid $160 for it. I'm not sure if that was the total. It's being shipped by UPS. Let me see. I'm just looking at a console I've got coming in. Let me check. I have several coming. They're just taking forever to get here. Let's look at what I got coming in here. Bear with me here. Delivered. Oh, this is it. This is it. Can I share this window? Will OBS allow me to share this window? The great OBS. That one. That's what I got coming. Let's look at what its issues were here, shall we? PS5 disc version. System has no power, no beep, comes with system only. So that's how I like them, nice and dead. That's how I like them. So that is what's coming. But I don't know when it's going to be here. Hello. Oh, you sent me one on Discord? I probably didn't know it was you. I don't remember. Andy does need our support. There's just not enough people watching him in the morning. I think MK is streaming right now. Didn't I get an alert earlier that MK Fix was streaming? So how do I send you all over there? That's the question. How do I do that? Let's see. He is? Does he need to be rated? If I could figure out how I did notice in the settings when I set up the stream, you know, you could set what you wanted to do after you ended. But I don't see that dialogue anymore now. Is it under? Oh, wait, here. Is this it? No. All right, how do I do this? I'm looking at all the options. I am failing to find it. I have to say, I can't say that. I can't say it. I don't know. Okay. I'm in YouTube Studio here. Yes, YouTube stupid. Oh, to redirect. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to redirect while you're currently in it. I saw an option before I started the stream. I just don't see it now. I'm still a noob at this. I've never had to try to do it. I guess what I'm getting is, do I need to open up another window to YouTube? Okay. And leave this one. Let me get another YouTube Studio window open. And then go in here. You do this. Content. Is it under live content? Okay, I see it there. Click your current line, then click customization. Okay. I see options. I do not see customization. Is it under options? No. Where is customization? If I can click it, there it is. More actions. No, I don't want to do that. Edit. Let me switch windows back around over here. Oh, my screwdriver. Let me. It is a Hoto. Hoto. What's the model? Just a second. Let me go to the microscope. Or let me add the microscope. It's a. I had this. It's a Hoto is the brand. I do like it. And there's the model. Is that showing up? Yep. That's it. Hope that helps you. Hello. Ripperagi. I think I've seen you before. It's not your birthday today? It's a wonder it's not your birthday today. I thought it was your birthday about every other day. We're retracting messages now. Okay. We're trying to figure out how to raid MK, or I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Okay, let me share this one. Just a second. See if it'll let me. It's not there. It's not that one. I guess, that's what it is. It won't let me do it while it's active. It won't let you do it while it's active. Okay, still won't let me do it. I'm looking for that window. And there, because there are many, here we go. There are many of them open. That's it. All right. Yeah, I think I've seen you commenting. Ripperagi? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think I've seen your comments, yep. Welcome. All right, so this is channel content. Yeah, we were just looking at that Series X. We're not fixing it. That's one I was looking at for reverse engineering. Oh, here? Okay, I have to actually edit it. In screen, select. Oh, customization. There's customization. Ah, okay. Stream settings have moved. Oh, redirect. Redirect. So search some other channels. So how do you redirect to a live? Because this is like redirecting to a fixed video. Oh, it popped up. How about that? So just click that one, and then when I end the stream, it should go to him. Like that. And then I got to save, I'm assuming. All right. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to removing all that thermal adhesive. I'm not really looking forward to it. We saved that. Okay, good deal. All right then, we'll give MK a little surprise. Well, thank you all for coming. I've got most of the supplies fixed, David. I do thank you for coming, and if I get another PS5 in here, maybe we'll do some more streaming. I'm waiting for them to show up. It's just I had some bad weather in the area, and the shipments receiving stuff is hit and miss. It just is. So anyway, when I end the stream, we'll all go over and say hello to MK Fix. How's that sound? So thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.